studios in Lincoln. 1011 First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm John Vanderford.
And I'm Taryn Vanderford, and welcome to this special broadcast of First at 4 live from Pilger, Nebraska. June 16th is a day that many Nebraskans will never forget. 1 year ago, twin tornadoes tore through this small Nebraska community, and we are standing in front of what used to be the Wisner-Pilger Middle School.
But as you look around, there's so much rebuilding going on in this community. We're going to get to all of that in a minute. Today we're taking a look back at the destruction the tornadoes left behind and just how far the town has come in just 1 year.
Yeah, 2 people were killed in the tornadoes, and they caused tens of millions of dollars in damage. Initial estimates said 75% of Pilger was leveled, 45 to 50 homes reduced to nothing, and local businesses demolished. The village's co-op, a significant part of the local economy, was severely damaged, as well as the historic Wisner-Pilger Middle School. But the small community wouldn't be left to recover on its own. Thousands of volunteers came into Pilger to help with cleanup and to show their support for the town.
Well, just 1 year since the devastating tornado ripped through this village, the journey to put Pilger back together has begun.
Yeah, 1011's Joe McHale is here to explain more.
Yeah, guys, you know, I was here on the weekend, Saturday, and I got a chance to talk to a lot of the folks here in Pilger, and they were just telling me that they're not really in the process of building a lot right now, but more so just finishing cleaning up how much damage was left over from the tornado. And that's really, now that they're at that point, they're past the cleanup, they're ready to build, it's a huge weight off their shoulders. And speaking of some of the rebuilding that they're going to be doing here coming up, you know, they just broke ground on the new Midwest Bank that they're going to be getting to here soon. There's also going to be a new gas station, convenience store, and let's talk a little bit across the street, St. John's Lutheran Church. You know, the bell tower just remains.
Oh, yeah.
But they are going to build there at that location. As far as what it's going to look like, how big it's going to be, that's still a big question mark. And also I spoke with Angela Denton. She's big here, and she's been a big part of the Reinvent Pilger, and she told me that the future of Pilger is really bright.
When devastation happens to a community, it doesn't mean it's the end of the community. It just means that you have the opportunity to make history and move forward and be better than what you were.
And there is one place that really took the lead on rebuilding, and that is what we're looking at right now, the Farmers Co-op. It took them about a month and a half to clean up all the damage, and then they got to building right away. New grain bins. They only have a couple more left to finish, and they're almost done with the chemical and the fertilizer shed. So they really just took the lead on rebuilding, and there's, like I said, a little more work to do, but just really great to see this community coming together. It looks a lot different, right?
It does, because my mom is from Pilger, Joe, and the landmarks aren't here anymore. It kind of throws you off. But you do see that. You do see what they're rebuilding. Yeah,
and right behind us it is, you know, a little unfortunate to some that the school isn't going to be here. It's going to be in Wisner, which is sad in some, of course. But, you know, they said it's not going to be the same Pilger. It's going to be new. It's going to be different.
It's going to be different. And I know they're always known as the town too tough to die, and they're showing that here. So thank you, Joe, for that report.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much,
You
Joe.
bet.
Well, 1 year later, some things are returning to normal right here in Pilger. Businesses are reopening, like Joe said, and families are moving back.
The Sire family's house was severely damaged in last year's tornadoes, making it unlivable. After months of work, they moved back in this April. The family says it's a breath of fresh air to be in their home and see all of the progress in the community. Coming up on 1011 News at 6, Taylor Barth will have the family's full story and the lengths they went to in order to stay in Pilger. Well, as we mentioned, the tornadoes killed 2 people, including a 5-year-old girl.
Yeah, and Candy Murphy had only been in Nebraska a few months with her 2 daughters, Robin and Callista, or Callie for short. She says she hadn't even had time to get insurance on their trailer yet. And when the 2 tornadoes came through, the 3 of them ran for shelter, but they didn't make it. 5-year-old Callie was tragically killed in the storm, and Candy was in the hospital for almost 2 months, a place many believed she would never leave.
I was hit in the back of my skull, and I had like 4 surgeries, 3 or 4 surgeries in Omaha on the brain tissue in the skull, because the skull was fractured. And then I went through 3 or 4 surgeries on my leg because it was split from one side to the other, and they didn't expect me to make it through the brain surgery, to much less work on the leg.
Candy was in a medically induced coma and had to be told her daughter had died and was already buried when she woke up. Reporter Amon Amera will have more on this story tonight at 10.
Coming up, he made sure his employees were safe when the tornadoes hit the Midwest Bank here in town.
Yeah, we will talk with the branch's president about getting them to safety and what he remembers from that tragic day 1 year ago. We are live here in Pilger on First at 4.